Welcome to a new episode of Security Minutes. My name is Richard Dornhart, and with me today I have Craig Jones and Claudia Nave. How are you today?
Doing good, thank you.
Yeah,
Great to be here with you in Brisbane.
I'm really excited to talk to you too. There's a lot going on, and Craig, I think I'll start with you. From your time at INTERPOL and earlier roles, what trends have most surprised you when you look at cybercrime globally?
So I think sort of looking at a 30-year law enforcement career and the last sort of 15 being involved in cybercrime, it's that scale and volume effectively. So we saw a smallish impact to start with in the UK across the sort of digitally advanced countries. But then we saw the cyber criminals started working in that space as well. They started understanding how they could use information communications technology rather than use the word cyber to support them in committing crime. I think the biggest change came sort of 2015, 17, around that time when virtual currencies came around. And that was the monetization, and that was the real game changer for the criminals. You know, they could make money relatively quickly, relatively easily, and the volume side of it. And also the chances of them being caught were reduced as well, effectively, because it was international. And historically, law enforcement work in a commodity-based crime area. So drugs trafficking, human trafficking, we work in that physical space. We're now working on online space. I certainly didn't join the law enforcement, to chase cyber criminals back in the 1990s, but that's been my role for the last 15 years, and we've had to evolve in that space as law enforcement.
I can imagine it was a significant evolution, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, massive.
Yeah, things have really changed. Claudia, I'm interested from you. What are the biggest misconceptions that organizations have about cyber threats?
Traditionally, we're looking at a single breach for an organization. Everyone's worried about what their name is on the dark web or underground channels that threat actors are using. However, over the last year, we really saw a shift in how organizations are actually being breached. So instead of focusing on a single organization as a target, threat actors are now focusing on supply chain instead. So this can go from open source tooling to vendors, partners, anything of those sorts. And threat actors have realized that they can get a larger financial gain and impact out of breaching one of those instead of a single organization, as it could potentially lead to hundreds to thousands of downstream organizations being impacted as well.
And I think that sort of ties in my first point. You know, we looked at individuals to start with at this. We're now looking at large organised criminal syndicates committing these crimes. And it's like any business. How can they amplify their profits? How can they make the best use of technology? And, you know, as that technology has changed and adapted, that's exactly what they've done, like any business. You know, how are you going to maximise your money-making capabilities?
And as you said, they're extremely well organized, like a corporation, you know, different departments handling different elements of, you know, the threat activity.
Yeah, for sure.
You've recently released, I guess you call it the high-tech crime threat report.
Yes.
And I'm really interested to maybe get your view on how cyber criminal groups are, you know, changing the way they're organized and how they operate.
Yeah, so it's exactly what Craig was just saying. They're almost operating like an actual business now. In our high-tech crimes report, we actually saw this with the change in ransomware gangs. There was a lot of law enforcement engagement with these ransomware groups. Now a lot of the ransomware groups and their affiliates are now branching off into their own smaller groups and creating their own ransomware as a service tools that are out of the eye of the law enforcement. However, we still do see some big names of ransomware groups that are operating exactly like a business. They've actually got internal penetration testing teams, zero-day vulnerability teams, as well as even legal support in some cases to help affiliates that have breached an organization who are now negotiating payments and now need legal support to help them facilitate to get those payments.
There is so much going on, and there's so much for organizations to need to get their heads around. I think about this concept of proactive threat and adversary intelligence, and it's becoming very critical for organizations. And I'd love to get maybe both of your views on why is it so important for an organization to have?
Yeah, as a Threat Intelligence Analyst at Group IB, my team are constantly on the tools. So we're always scanning the dark web, underground forums, and private messaging channels. which is majority of the time where these threat actors are conversing with one another. We're able to monitor that in real time and essentially feed this information to organizations of what they should really be monitoring for. The benefit of having proactive intelligence is that we can sort through what organizations don't need to know about and what they should know about, because there's a lot out there and simply there's just not enough time to sort through it all. So if you actually have a team who are doing it for you and giving you the opportunity to make intel-led decisions, that essentially is the main benefit of it.
I think that's where it works for law enforcement. So historically, law enforcement have had the information and data about criminal groups because we work in the community, we live in the community, we understand exactly what's happening in our local community. We're blindsided in this space because we don't necessarily have the tools to get into that information about data sets, and we then become very reactive.
Yep.
Your role of law enforcement is protection of life and property. That's the primary role, and the detection of crime. So in this space, working with companies such as Group IB, they've got that information. But what we're also able to do, such as at INTERPOL, we can amalgamate that information together.
Yep.
And we can look at high harm, high impact, high volume or high interest types of cybercrime. And then we can take those data sets and we can place them where either there's victims or there's infrastructure or attribution to the cyber criminals effectively.
Yeah, and getting that visibility that's specific to your organization is so important, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Well, Craig, Claudia, thank you very much. If you'd like to learn how you can apply threat and adversary intelligence to your organization, please reach out to your Data3 account manager. Thank you very much.